Hello, welcome back. We are finally here. This is episode 10, the final episode. If you've made it this far, then congratulations. The game is almost complete. If you want to check out the finished game, then the link is actually in the description and it's set to public, so you can go open up in Studio and play about with it. One last thing before we get into today's video. As always, if you're having any problem with any of the scripts, then just head over to our Discord. Link will also be down in the description, where I'm happy to help provide scripting help, and also we can just hang out and chat. Okay, enough talking. This video is long enough as it is. 30 beautiful minutes for you. Let's show you how I made it. Okay, so it's finally time to finish this game off. Now you may notice things are looking a little bit different over here. I've gone and edited the last map slightly. So before, when the player defeated the wizard, they were just kind of left stuck here, and there was no really where left to go. So I've added in some steps behind the wizard and a little kind of victory area over here. Now, in order for the player to get there, they're going to need to get over these spikes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a new part into level 3 here. New part. Like so, and we'll name it bridge so it's easy to access. But we don't want this to be visible from the start, obviously, as the player could just go in and jump over the wizard without ever having to fight them using the enchantment. So for now, we'll set the transparency to 1 to make it invisible, and we'll also set can collide to false, so the player would fall straight through it, but we'll make it anchored so it stays in place. So it's completely invisible to the player and no physics going to interact with it currently. But we want that to change when the wizard is killed. We want that bridge to appear. So if we go into our evil wizard and look at the wizard script, right up at the top here, we're going to add in a new function. We say local function and we'll call it onDeath. And we're going to call this function whenever the wizard dies, which is actually an event of the humanoid. And we can access this humanoid from a variable we've already created at the top here, which is wizard. So we can say wizard.died, which is the capital D, connect, brackets, and then we just type the name of the function, which is onDeath. Inside the onDeath function, all we want to do is we want to make this invisible bridge here. Where has it gone? There it is. We'll move this inside level 3. We want to make this bridge become visible. So in our script, we simply say local bridge. So, and we'll access that by saying script.parent. So the parent of the script will be the evil wizard, and then we need to get the parent of that, which is level 3. So script.parent.parent. And then we can access the bridge. So script.parent.parent.bridge. And then we can make the bridge transparency equal to 0 so we can see it. And then we need to set bridge.canCollide equal to true so we can actually walk over it. So whenever the humanoid dies, then the bridge will hopefully appear. Let's go and check and see if that's working then. Okay, let's go ahead and kill the wizard. Boom, and the bridge has appeared. Perfect. So we can walk across this bridge and we can head up to our victory area. Nice one. But of course, this doesn't really tell the player that they've won either. We could do with a message to coming up on the screen to let them know they've won. So let's go ahead and create a victory screen, shall we? We'll go into Starter GUI. And I've actually gone ahead and made one earlier, but these are easy enough to make. You simply add in a screen GUI, you add in a frame, which you can then position however you want. I made a video on all the positioning details of GUIs, so maybe check that out if you're new to them. But essentially, you add in a frame, and then you can add in some text inside of that. And then it's a case of editing these properties down here to get what you want. So we've gone ahead and we've created one called Victory Screen, and it looks a bit like this. Inside it's a frame, and inside that we've got text label and a text button. Now, when we press this button, it doesn't currently do anything. We won't worry about that just yet. But we would just want to get this GUI to appear when the player enters this victory area over here. So how we're going to do that is we're going to change this enabled value. So it's currently set to true. We'll make it false for now, so we don't want it to be visible while the player is playing the game. We only want it to appear when they enter this area. So if we want to change that, we need to change the player's individual UI. So you notice when I'm testing the game, my player loads in, wherever was located inside starter GUI actually gets copied into the players folder. So we go players, GnomeCode, player GUI, and there is all my UI. So if we want to access that, we can add in another part, and we'll move it across the entrance here, make it nice and big. We'll set the transparency to 1, make it anchored, and set can collide to false so they can walk through it. And we'll rename it victory detection. And then inside we just add a script. And it's just another case of doing a hit detection event, which we've done many times before, which will look like this. So this is our basic script we've seen before. So we know that if the thing that's touching the part contains a humanoid, then we know that's the character. So we'll create a variable for the character, local character equals hit.parent, and then we can get the player as well. We can say local player equals, and to do that we can use the players service, and we can call a function on that, which would be get player from character, and then we just apply that character variable. So now we know the character and the player, so we can edit their UI. We can say player.player GUI dot, and whatever the name of your victory screen is, I've named my victory screen, which is nice and easy. And then we just change the property of enabled to true. So now when we kill the wizard, we can walk over the bridge, up the stairs, and then we get our victory message. Fantastic. So that's our ending nicely finished off. But if we want to get this button on the victory screen working to replay the game, we're going to have to do a little bit more. Now we could just teleport the player right back to the beginning, but the problem is the coins we've collected and the boxes may have disappeared, the traps have already been activated, and their points and will be out of kilter. So what we really need to do is reload this entire map. Now, this might be a good time to talk about something called code reusability. Now, currently inside our game, inside each coin has its own script telling it to add points to the leader stats and to destroy the coin. And we've got the same script inside every single coin, which means if we wanted to change any of these scripts, then we're going to have to go through and change every single coin. Now, there is an alternative way of doing this, which is what many of the big games use, and it's what you really need if you want to make a game. So you can go into your server storage here, and you can use folders. You don't have to do it this way, but this is a good way of doing it, and we could name one folder here called scripts. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to delete. I'm holding down the control key. I'm going to delete all of these scripts. Until we just have this one, and I'm going to cut that out as well and paste that into scripts here. I'll rename this coin script. So now we only have the one copy of the script, and all of these don't have any script at all. And now we only need to take one copy of this script and we can put it into all of these. So any change I make to this one script can be copied into all of them. So we have to make the change once. There's two ways of doing this. I could create a script that looked for all the coins and then clone it in. Or what might be easier just to do is I can add in another script. Now this might seem a little bit counterintuitive. You're thinking, well, I've just deleted those scripts and now I'm going to add in a script into each of them. If we type a simple script like this, local server storage, so we access that and we'll use game get service server storage, and then we can get the coin script. We can say local coin script equals server storage dot scripts dot coin script colon clone, and then we can simply make the coin script dot parent to be equal to this script dot parent, and then we can destroy this script. Now, as I say, this might seem a bit counterintuitive to type a new script just to copy the script, but I'm very unlikely to be able to want to change any of the details in this script. So we can name this script the get script, and we can just go ahead and we can copy this into all of the coins. So I've copied it, Control C, select all of them, and press Control Shift V. I can paste it into all of the coins. Now it's possible while doing this, if you look inside the scripts, they'll still say print hello world, which can be a bit of an issue. That's to do with the new drafts feature. So if you just delete them all and make sure that this script has been committed. So if you go on drafts and right click commit, now when you copy it over into a new one, it will appear. So we can do that again, copy and paste into all of them. There we go. And if we go and run the game now, just to show you, we don't need to join with the player, just click run. And if we look inside level 1, look inside the coins, we'll see that they all have the script, which is copied from down in server storage. So this makes it much easier now if we want to change anything. So I think currently when you touch the coin, it outputs, not that, what does it output? It outputs the points, but I don't think we really need to output this anymore. So I'm just gonna get ahead and delete that. And we'll go ahead and rejoin the game. We'll comment this line out. So now we're back to using the level 1 spawn. We'll play the game. And now when I touch the coins, I'm not going to get that message in the output anymore. And you can see these coins are working just as before. Perfect. So we can go ahead and use this same method for the mystery boxes as well. We'll go ahead and rename this script mystery box script. And we'll press Ctrl X to move it into the scripts folder in server storage. And then we'll copy that get script into the mystery box and just edit it. So instead of saying coin script, it says mystery box script. There we go. And we can repeat that for the next levels. That's level 1 done. We need to repeat that for level 2. So that's level 2 done as well. So now all of our scripts are just from this one central folder. I've only got 2 scripts we need to edit rather than trying to edit 500. Now we actually need to get that replay button working so we can reload the map like I talked about earlier. So we're going to create a new folder in server storage and we're going to call this one, we'll call this one map. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to move the entire contents of workspace into the map. So this victory detection, we'll move that into the victory area model. So we've just got 4 models. We've got level 1, level 2, level 3, and the victory area. And we can select all of them and click and drag them down into the map server storage. And they'll disappear, leaving us with a completely empty workspace, which might be a little scary, but you'll notice if we click and drag them back into workspace, their current positions are saved. So now we've got them down in server storage, we just need to bring them back out into the workspace. Now instead of just moving the parent, we're going to create another clone like we did for those scripts. So I'm going to go into the player setup script, and at the top I'm going to create a new function. We'll make this local over here. We're going to create a new function called getContent. And what this will do is it will look inside the map and it will clone the contents into workspace. So we can say local server storage equals game get service server storage, and then it's simply a case of using a for loop. So for key object in pairs, and then we say server storage dot map colon get children, and get children being everything that's contained inside of it. So that'll be level 1, 2, 3 and victory area. This for loop will loop through everything. Then inside the loop we want to make a copy of each item, so we can say local model equals object clone. Now again, remember these words like object and model are just names for my variables. You could call them thing if you wanted. The most important thing is using the same word each time, otherwise your script is just going to end up a confusing mess. So we've created a clone. We'll name this clone to make it more obvious. Local clone equals object clone, which is the item in that loop. And then with that clone, we want to set its parent to be equal to workspace. So we're creating a copy of these and placing them in here. Now this function, getContent, we're going to need to call it from somewhere. So the best place to call it from would probably be in the setup whenever the player is added. So we'll call the getContent function straight away. Let's try going and testing that, shall we? We'll run the game, and hopefully everything is going to be cloned in, and there we are, just like normal. So now we know how we can load in the entire map from fresh. Let's go about activating that button we created earlier. So here it is the button. So we'll go to our frame, inside we'll find the button, and we'll add inside it a local script. And inside this local script, we'll create a function. We'll say script.parent.mouse button one click connect, and we'll use just an anonymous function in this case. Open close brackets, new line, and then if we want to reload the game, that will actually be on the server side. You see this is a local script, and these just plain blue ones are server scripts. If you want to communicate between the local, which is just the client, the individual player's device, and the Roblox server that's hosting the game, we need to use something called a remote event. Now I'm not going to go into too much details about these now, but just know that it's a way of communicating between the two. So in order to use a remote event, I'm going to go to replicated storage, and I'm going to add in a remote event object, and we'll name this restart game. And then it's simply a matter of finding that object on the local script. So we say local restart game equals game get service replicated storage colon wait for child restart game. And then the next line we can say restart game colon fire server. And what this does is it fires a message over to the server. So let's go into the player setup script again, which is on the server. And we're going to add in a new function now. We'll say local function restart game. And we're going to call this function whenever that remote event is fired. So we can say game get service replicated storage again, wait for child, restart game, just as we did over in our local script. So we can make this a variable again, just like that. And then instead of saying fire server, we want to say restart game dot on server event connect with the function restart game. Now it's a bit confusing having these both called restart game, so when we name the variable to be restart game event, and so our function and our variable are a bit more clearly distinguishable. Now we just need to write the function. So it's going to be a bit similar to the setup function we had up here. The first thing we want to do is call the getContent function. So we load in those maps. Next, we're going to want to reset some of those values up here. So we're going to need to say player dot leader stats dot points, and we'll set that equal the value side points dot value equal to 0. I'm going to do the same with the level, because the levels are going to be back at level 1. So dot level, and we'll set that to 1. And then finally we need to set their spawn, so we can copy this and paste this down here to set their spawn. And that is all we need inside our function. So hopefully now if we go and test, we should find that whenever we hit that button, this button here, we'll be using that local script, which uses the mouse button click, and then it fires the server, which then means that on our server script, which is the player setup script, then this function is called, which reloads everything, resets their values, sets their spawn point, and then finally all we need to do is respawn the player. So we say player load character. Let's go and see if that works, shall we? So here we are, we've got our points, and I've kept the UI enabled. So obviously we don't want this to happen, but you can just see from the beginning, we've got our points, and maybe we get 7 points. We activate this trap maybe we explode this thing, and then I'll press replay. Every time I press play, it's loading everything in. And if I go onto the test and I click where it says current client, I switch over to the server, you'll notice it's actually piling up tons of zombies and tons of wizards every time. This clearly isn't what we want. We need a way to clean up every time we reload the game. So let's go back into our server script called player setup, and we'll create another function at the top here, and we'll call this one local function cleanup. And all this function will do is it will look inside workspace and it will remove any models or parts that there are. So we'll create a for loop. We'll say for key object in pairs, and that will just be workspace get children. And then we could just say object destroy. But we've also got things like the terrain object and the camera object inside workspace. So we need to first check if the object is a part or the object is a model. Then we'll destroy it. And so now with our cleanup script, all we'll do is we'll call it at the beginning of the get content. So as soon as before it adds in the new content, we'll remove everything that's currently existing. So let's go and test, see how it's working. We can play, we can get a box, we can get some coins. We'll hit replay and everything loads in again. Switch over to the server and you can see the zombies are walking around. We've not got any repeats. Perfect. Now we just need to disable this UI. Set it to disabled. And now we only want that UI to appear when they get to the victory screen on level 3. So let's play through the game and see if everything's working so far. Super, there we go. And our points are 17, we're on level 3, we'll click replay. Point 0, level 1, back to the beginning. Everything's reloaded, fantastic. There's one last thing I'd like to add, which would be a high score. Seeing as we're adding a replay, it would be nice if we could compare it to what we got last time. So inside our player setup again, and inside the setup function, we're going to create a new instance of an int value. So we'll copy that, go down here, the new int value, instead of level, we'll call this one high score. We'll change the name of the variable as well. And the high score will initially be set to 0. And then all we're going to do down here in our restart game, we'll add in a little condition. So to do this, just before we start resetting anything, we'll add in a new line and we'll check if the current value of the player's points is higher than their high score. So we can copy that again. Instead of points, we'll say high score. Now obviously the first time they play it, their high score is going to be 0. So it's definitely going to make it higher, sorry. And then all we need to do is make the high score dot value equal to the points dot value. High score dot value equal to points dot value, and then we set these to 0 and 1 again. Okay, let's go ahead and test that. And we can see our high score is 0, our points are 0. And it might look a bit nicer actually if we the order that you declare these in changes which order they appear in. So I'm going to put high score. So I'm going to put level right at the front and then high score and points afterwards. So then we'll get it in that order. We'll get level, points and high score. So we can collect our points. They can start filling up.
2 hours later.
And so there we go, we've got 16 points. We win the game and then we'll click replay. Our points will go back to 0 and our high score is set at 16. Fantastic. And to add in some final flair, let's add in some sounds. Now this is really easy to do, seeing as we changed the script for the coins previously. So if we go into our scripts, inside our coin script, and all we're going to do is we're going to add in a sound. So if we go on the toolbox here, we're on audios, and we'll maybe search for something like coin pickup, see what comes up. That'll do. Pickup sound, we'll click, add that in. We'll turn up the volume a little bit on it. And all we need to do is enable this behavior right here. It says play on remove. We'll tick that. And then because the coin is deleted as soon as you pick it up, then this sound will also be removed. And so therefore the sound will play. So we don't even have to worry about doing anything inside a script. It's all automatically handled. And we can add another one for mystery box. And here's another sound for this one. And we'll set this one to play and remove as well. And then we might as well add in a sound for the entire game. So let's see what we can find. This one sounds good. We'll add this one in. And then all we need to do for this one is we'll enable the looped and we'll turn on playing. Again, we don't have to do anything inside a script. And we'll turn down the sound a little bit. We'll change the volume to 0.1. It only needs to be background music. And we'll just double check these are set to play on remove. And we'll turn up the volume on that one to 1 as well. Let's go ahead and play. And there we have it. We've got our music going on. We've got our coins. We can get our coin noise. Bing, bing, bing. We can get our box. We've got our box noise. We can get our mystery item. What we're going to get. We've got a powerful jump. So there we have it, guys. That is our complete game. All 10 episodes of the series are finished. If you have made it all the way through these tutorials and you've made your own game, then well done. I salute you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the information useful. Where next, you may be wondering? Well, this won't be the last video, that's for sure. You can come join us on the Discord. You can get help with the information, the scripts in this video, and the scripts in other videos as well. We've got a help channel, we've got a general chat channel, we've got a bit of everything going on in there. And one last thing, make sure you check out this place. It'll be in the description. It's Uncopylocked, so you can go and edit it, check it out in studio yourself, maybe learn something, or just steal it if you want. It's all cool. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.